করো তো চালানো আছে
এই কোয়েল তোমারটা থেকেও করো।
Thank you, the organizers of Almere International Film Festival. Is it okay? Am I audible? Yes. Yeah. So I just but I'm representing the entire team actually, and in fact, this film is not my lone creation. It is Vijay Banerjee and me. We are the kind of the dual creators, like father and mother, playing both roles right on this film, because we have co-written, co-directed, co-produced, and done so many other things to make this film possible, including like making it so difficult for our families for 2.5 years that we took to make this film. Wow. Because we were working all through the time. We have done this film over weekends, and it has been a long journey and a very fruitful and meaningful one. And I also, my family is here, but the rest of the team and Vijay's family, they are back in India. So I want to really call out that on their behalf, I am here on the stage, but I'm remembering them all the while. And I'm so glad that we did this, and I hope all of you like this film. So I'm happy to take any questions and also hear from the audience how they liked it, because as you rightly said, this film is, just to come to the topic of the film, is that you said that so the primary thing is that we all say that we believe in equality, we say that we believe in inclusivity, that is the key word of the world today, but are we really? In our mind, do we really think that anybody and everybody is equal, and given a chance, given the right kind of opportunity and environment, a lot of us can do so many things. There's no limit. As Muhammad Ali had told in his own life and had demonstrated through his life, all the decisions he had taken, that nothing is impossible, and you can challenge the status quo. There's nothing called a status quo. The status quo is in our mind. Nothing is impossible. When he said it is, he really meant it, because impossible is just a word. It's nothing. It doesn't exist. If we believe, anything is possible. So kind of we try to tell that through our story, and when we tried to say that, we created this story, and then when we initially we did not even think that we will have a blind actor. We had thought we'll bring a good actor, but once we started looking at other films where blind characters were played by, we kind of felt that no, we are not being honest enough. We came to a point that if we have to make this film in an honest way, we have to do it through a boy who is blind and will play that role, and we'll have to teach him boxing. So we were at a point where we may or may not be able to make this film. In fact, in the long journey, there were many such moments where we thought that this film is just not possible. And finally, we found this boy, and we made the film. Yeah. Now I'll stop my monologue. And
no, you sit down, please. Yeah. This was supposed to be a Q&A, but beautifully you explained quite a lot of things. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Your collaboration with another director, actually, can you tell me how did you come in a connection, and how you decided, like, okay, let's work together on this thing?
Yeah, it was again like most good things in life. It is a happy coincidence. Like myself and my co-director Vijay, we actually lived in the same neighborhood in back in Pune. And one fine day I was taking a walk, and so from myself, I have been very passionate about films right from my childhood. Like my father introduced me to the world of movies when I was hardly, I think 5-6 years old. He took me to a A-rated James Bond movie. Wow. And a new world opened in front of me, and I've been in love with movies right from the beginning. And I, somewhere in my mind, I really wanted to also make films. And by chance, in that walk on that evening, I met Vijay and got to know that he is going to join a course of filmmaking, directing and filmmaking. And I said, yeah, if you're doing, I'm also interested. And both of us kind of learned filmmaking together over a period of time and started making some short films. And this is one of our feature film venture that we successfully completed. There were quite a few others which are still in the making, were halfway made, and all filmmakers, any filmmakers would know, like you would know that not all films that you think about actually get made. It is a very challenging journey to make films. The kind of commitment, the kind of perseverance you have to complete a film is a lot. So that's where we are. We have really collaborated very closely and worked together as a true co-creators. Yeah.
Mm. And I am aware of your journey, and the topic itself, is unique, and it's a very good, the awareness and lesson for all of us actually. I have a history. I worked on a very sensitive subject, which people do not like to talk about, is women abuse actually, and all around the world, and many parts of the world, this cultural issue, that is a sort of cultural issue, has been banned, but it is still happening in India. And I made a film on that subject. After that, this film was screened around in many places, as it was screened in India as well in film festival. But so this is the way to bring people together. I can imagine that. Can you tell us more about your work, which you are doing as a professional person? You're working in IT, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how you were coming out from your work and collaborating with this initiative?
Let's say that my heart has been in this all the while. I'm a reluctant IT engineer. Okay, but yeah, it has been not very easy, because work has its own pressure, its own commitments, and we have to kind of do that balancing act. And sometimes it's a challenge. It's a lot of challenge in family also, because you kind of eat into your family time, evening times, and to do all this, because post-production work we used to do after office, late evening till late into the night. That was the only way we could find time to be able to do the entire post-production editing and the music and everything together. So, yeah, it's
Anything else you do apart from the direction or writing?
Yeah, I write a bit of poetry, and I love to recite, and I also am interested in theatre and dramatics, and I have written a couple of few plays in my mother tongue, Bengali. And during the COVID time, I did some kind of green screen based shooting of these plays with kids, with adults. Even here in Almere, I have been a part of one of the groups called Color of here, and on theatre we have done some plays. So that's my some of the stage related things, like performance on stage is of interest for me, and writing in the background is also of interest to me. Yeah.
So nice. Okay, I went to the blind school. If you know, there is one of the biggest blind school in Dehradun. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, I was staying in that premises for 1 week, and I noticed the way the coach were training them to play a football. So they use a ball with some sound in it. And when somebody is kicking from one side, another one can find that ball and is kicking back. It was so amazing. So tell me how it was for you to work together with Ali, and what was his first response when you said, "Okay, you're going to be lead in our film"?
Yeah, so fortunately for us, this guy is a born champion. The moment we told him, and in fact when we saw him, we were taking audition in the Pune Blind School actually, and there were a lot of boys sitting there. We had some scripts, we would give them to say the dialogue, and we'll try to decide. But this guy was not there in that group. Suddenly he comes through the door, and the moment he enters, kind of it clicked. Our hearts started beating faster that this is the guy. And he took to it like a duck takes to water. Whatever we give him, he was very, very sharp. And he is a champion actually. And just to tell you, we are living in an age of, say, today Dhurandhar is the most successful film, and the caliber of Dhurandhar is that how it has blended truth with fiction, right? You can't understand what is true and what is fiction. And here we have made a film where actually through fiction, we are trying to change the reality. To tell you, I was talking to Shabir, the protagonist, just yesterday. He's actually playing, he's really into sports. After this film, his confidence has really boosted, and he plays in the state blind cricket school, cricket team. He is a part of that. He has traveled to Egypt for playing something called goal ball last September itself. And he is full-time, he's just completed his graduation, and he is trying to apply for jobs, and also he is seeing what he can do in the area of sports, really passionately. A lot of things are, we believe that this is not possible, but in real life you see people doing it. It's just about somewhere having that belief in oneself that this is possible, I can do it. Somebody instills that belief, the society instills that belief. That is most important. That is where a lot of things can change for better, is what I strongly believe. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kaushik. What is next?
Yeah, so I have not been working on a film project for quite some time, because the last 2.5 years I took up a new role in my job, and it's been keeping me very busy, but I have to get back to it. It's thanks for this opportunity to again connect with this, and really this is my passion. I'll get back to my next project and next idea of let's see.
We have Richard, one of the filmmaker here. We will be screening his film. We're going to collaborate together. What do you think, Richard? How was his work?
Okay. I'm not Indian, so I don't understand everything.
Yeah.
And I could read the subtitles, of course, so it's fine. But
yeah.
slight cultural difference, but it was a great effort. Yeah.
Okay. And how about yourself, Abdul? We saw your film earlier, and what do you think about his film?
I liked it. I didn't saw the whole thing, but from what I saw, it looked nice, and I really liked two things, like the slow motion shots, and I liked the close up when they had the conversations with the guys from the company, from the boxing thing. I like that. So
great,
yeah.
great. So this is why we are gathering together, learn skill from each other. Doesn't matter. Film is in a different language. Technology. It plays a big role in the filmmaking, and I like to see all of us from Almere collaborating with each other, learning and supporting. So we have to grow together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I like to go towards the audience now. If they have any questions, please raise your hand, and Amrita will pass microphone.
Kaushik, I was speaking with you for a long time to watch this movie. You have given me opportunity to see this in the laptop, but I told you no, I will see when the screening will come. We are really proud of you, first of all. Really proud of you, Kaushik. I just wanted to understand. From a diaspora, from Bengali, and I am really proud of you. On the other hand, actually, I wanted to know, because I am also a blind boxer like Ali, trying to do something else. But doing this, I think the 2 years of time which you have spent in your life, Joyita is not there. Yeah. Okay. So that 2 years of time when you were making the film, like it's like giving all out, 24 hours, 7 days in a week, and then 365 days. So how did you manage the family? Like I just wanted to understand how it was possible to manage it.
I just summarize. My wife wanted to divorce me. No, it was not easy. It was very difficult, and especially with kids, it becomes very challenging. So I really put a word of caution to anybody who wants to make films. It's not for the weak-hearted. You have to be really very strong and passionate about it, and really believe in it to be able to make it. And my wife Joyita, she's sitting here right now. She knows how challenging it was for us to do the journey. But yeah, thanks to her, she supported me through thick and thin. And my kids.
Question, yes. Not exactly question, but I just want to tell it's a marvelous movie. It's really inspiring movie. tonight I just want to show it to my son. Uh, One thing, so I have seen, it's a very beautiful movie, but you know, it reminds me suddenly to Koni. You know Koni, right?
Yeah.
Because for every sports, there is a Dronacharya.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so this coach is very important for blind Ali. So it's nice, it's actually nice.
Yeah.
Second thing is like, I feel like along with the movie, you are also connected to the sports. I feel so. I mean, which sports? Football or boxing?
Yeah, for me, football is the more natural sports that I have always played as a child myself.
Okay.
Not
Then-
so much boxing, yeah.
Okay.
But
Then
I have a
second-
fighter in me, and the best. Koni is a favorite film of mine. I still remember that dialogue: "Fight, Koni, fight."
Koni,
So
fight,
that is
yes.
something is very
Yes,
important for
suddenly
sports.
I just
Yeah.
remind that
Yeah.
dialogue only.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you said football, then it's Bengal or Mohun Bagan?
No, I don't believe in those. For me, it's Maradona.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Kaushik, it was an amazing experience to see that. So, if I talk about all the craft, what you have presented, it would take a long time. But maybe a few questions. The nuances have been brilliant. Like, for example, when the coach was like starting the instruction manual, it was like instruction manual for a blind boxer. It was generic. And then he like backspaced it to make it for Ali, customized. Then it became personal. And then also we have been talking about Ali, but then Ruxana was also marvelous. Like I see that transition that before he started coaching, her movements were normal. And then once she started coaching, and then her movements were becoming more strong. So I want to understand that all these few nuances, were they all scripted before, or it happened naturally when you were filming, or like how was the process?
Many things were actually scripted, and a few things there were definitely improvisations. We see that a lot of things actually there were none of these guys were actors other than the Ruxana's mother. She had a theater background. Rest of the people we had to do a long workshops to bring them to, and it happened even with the coach actually. There was a moment we were thinking that he'll not be able to do it. He was just not coming into the character. And once they came into the character, they did a lot of improvisation, especially the father of the child. He was amazing. He did a lot of improvisations and even changed some of the script dialogues and made it far more natural. We had to keep it because they were so honest. They were coming really from inside. He was living that character. So that really happened. But a lot of it, like the manual part and all, a lot of it was scripted, a lot of it was original. There's nothing like that that existed when we were researching on this, and we had to create many of it, like spending a lot of night outs. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any more questions from the audience? Come on, questions.
This is your time.
Is this your time? Kaushik ji, oh, yes, yes.
So, Kaushik, thank you for such a great inspirational movie. So, just wanted to ask, like, you have spent quite a good amount of time in learning the filmmaking, the technical nuances into it, the direction, how to do a pre-production, how to do a post-production, how to do editing, and we just know this basic stuff by making some reels and those things. But ultimately, every one of us is an actor, even in corporate, even in real life. So acting is something natural to every human being, actually. And do you think it would be a wise idea to have some kind of manual, like you created a manual for the blind boxer Ali, a manual for kids, the new budding generation, or not only kids, also for the adults who are interested in this subject, to learn about this, grow the community. Let's see who has more skills, will become exceptional out of it. But can there be a manual for us or for everyone, for the new budding kids,
to learn these things which you have already experienced?
No, see, manual will be, I think, just a manual will not be enough. There's a, see, anything, if you want to achieve anything, anybody, there is an effort involved. We really, the manual will not be able to spoon feed it. The manual can be a starting point, but I think what is more important to see if we can create a group of, or some team to have some of these gatherings. And so, for example, this kind of a meeting itself doesn't happen, right? This kind of opportunity to watch films made by different people from different cultures, such a great thing. We get to exchange ideas, we get to, so that kind of a thing can happen. We could form a, say, a club where we meet sometimes and exchange ideas, or have some, say, classes around acting or filmmaking. That is very much possible, I think, Lalji.
Let me add in on that. So this is what our foundation, my name is Climate Foundation. What is Climate doing with the film? So let me tell you a little bit about it. So we are from My Name is Climate Foundation, and we are connecting creativity with sustainability. Okay, and we are also endorse filmmaking in a sustainable way. We try to tell film industry people be eco-friendly. You know, a lot of energy being used, and those are the few things. And same time, we bring awareness about the climate change by showcasing films on these themes. Then we have social issues and all other categories as well. Our agenda is not only showing a film, creating a network in between all the creative people like yourself, Richard, Abdul, you know, everybody coming together and share knowledge. This is our first start here, but we already have ongoing film festival in the UK since 2015. So every year for 4 days we are rolling this festival in the UK in Birmingham, and you are most welcome to apply for, you know, other submissions. And we have process. We got international jury panel. So like, I didn't just choose your film like that and brought it here. There is a process. We have 100, 200 submissions per year. And throughout the 1 year, we take you know, all the submission and we choose which films we should screen. At the same time, we endorse other films as well. The juries, they leave some nice remark. And we try to bring all other filmmakers as well under the same roof and connect with each other. So this is what we are doing, and definitely we will work together, Kaushikji, and there are many other creative people sitting out there, especially from the Bengali community, Satyajit Ray, Jindabad. So his drama is Oscar awarded, and we all know about it. And let's bring it together. Absolutely. Yeah. Any other questions left? So you have. Yeah.
Carry on. Who was raising?
Yeah.
Santa. Wow.
If you are going, please do take some drink, have some biscuits.
Yeah, no, also just to like reiterate what the, like not really a question, just to reiterate what the film...
Bit closer, we cannot hear you.
Yeah? Just to like kind of reiterate what the film was saying about like this being like being fiction, but not wanting to contain this within fiction. I think like, I just wanted to bring up something someone said about cultural differences a few minutes ago. I think not just this movie and like what it's trying to say, but also just this platform, I think it kind of has the ability to transcend that, because this movie, like what it's trying to say essentially is simple, right? Like it's a boy kind of doing what he's not supposed to, because there's really not systems for him to do that in the place where he's from, and someone out of blue kind of just decides to support him, kind of hold his hand, kind of guide him. And I think like all of us even here, so even the people who are not Indian, who like just us as a community here in the Netherlands, I feel like we can kind of say that about every place in the world. Like there's systemic issues, systems do not support certain people, certain groups, and I think, yeah, that's kind of what the movie is encouraging us to do more of. So I think we can kind of appreciate that sentiment. But no, I also wanted to ask, like, do you have any plans to make more movies?
That's my son asking me that question. So he wants to challenge me. Yeah, I do have. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
And you're going to work together, right?
He's himself writing quite much better than me.
So he's asking for the finance. That's true.
I think Lalitji, just to add, I think a very good point that Dipankar raised, and I think Sharmik also reiterated. It is very good if we can have a vibrant community out here where we should meet more often. I really miss that here in Netherlands compared to what I had back in Pune in India. Yeah. We could find like-minded people a lot more easily because maybe the numbers were more or we were more connected, having more roots. But here we have an opportunity.
In Brussels, I will say Belgium is very active, if you agree with me. The UK is wonderful from that point of view. Me, Amrita, we work together with Danny Boyle. We even work together with the director of 12 Years of Slave. Yeah. I was on set with Angelina Jolie for 1 week. I was behind the camera actually. But yes, so a lot of production going on in the UK. And I'm telling you, Netherlands have very big scope. And we can come out from the bubble and get together and bring amazing thing to Almere. And I feel we can turn this film festival into something like Rotterdam Film Festival or Cannes Film Festival. So let's pray together and move forward. That's all I will say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think this is definitely the aim of the Almere International Film Festival, to grow big. This is the first edition, and well, all beginnings are usually small, but I'm really happy with the amount of people that came. So this is a very good start. I have a question for you, Bobby.
Yes.
So I saw this film for the first time just now. I didn't watch this one previously because we knew that Lily's going to do the Q&A. So first of all, I want to tell you that this film was particularly very moving to me, actually. With several scenes.
Please have your drink. If you are in
almost roommate beside me, and he was giving his graduation. And in those days, back in Calcutta, there was no Braille system. There were no Braille books. There were no Braille exams, and somebody would have to help him physically. So I became one of those helps for him who would read the books for him, and he would record them on cassette players, the magnetic cassette players, to do his studies. And even for the actual exams, the graduation exams, he would need a writer who would listen to him. And so I kind of had a very close association with this person. And through that, I got to know that all these things that we think about blind people is more in our mental thing. Because I'll tell you, for the exams, we would go from a hostel to the examination, and I myself was younger than him. He would actually show me the city around, because he knew all the bus routes, he knew how to navigate. I was the rookie there, and he showed me the city around. So, and the problem that is there is in our mentality. He had a watch, like if you know, there is a Braille watch that blind people can use. You can touch and see what is the time. And I would go around the streets with him, and every other people would stop, and when they'll see that he is blind because he has a stick or something, and they'll ask what's the time, just to, out of that curiosity, they are not able to accept that a blind guy is able to wear a watch and know his time, right? So that is the mental change that we have to make. That is what I have learned, and somewhere that association actually with a blind person helped. And I also know another blind person in Calcutta who is a director, actor, and he directs his own theaters and all with a big group. His name is Shubhas Dey. So some of these associations, because of which I think the topic fell naturally, that if you have to really create something to say that we want to challenge the status quo in terms of inclusivity as a topic, like where we really don't look down upon anyone. We don't think that just because a person is different in anything. It could be he mentioned what's a cultural difference or skin difference or religious difference or regional difference. That doesn't make so the otherization is something we have to get out of. So that is where it came, all fell in place very passionately. It was an evolution. It was not that one fine day we had this idea that we want to make this gradually. And then, as I said, like the casting was itself not decided on day one. We came to a point when we decided we cannot make this film if it's not a blind person. So I think I gave a long answer to a simple question, but that is how it evolved.
It's all great, Kaushik ji, and thank you so much for great evening, I will say.
My pleasure, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and look forward. It's great knowing you guys.
Yeah. Small question, small answer. We are running out of time.
It's a great film. I like it very much, and few things that you took very brilliantly, like that the champion code, the blurred champion code, when he takes the Ronnie left, that was very brilliant idea. And I wanted to ask, like, whenever we think of some idea, and when it actually gets on screen, so there are many stages like script, idea, story, script, and then the filming and everything. So sorry for if I sound rude, but how you think, how much percent in percent, like how much the original idea and the film is like, to what extent you able to be
Express it.
Yeah,
I think we stuck very true to our original idea. So in this case, we did not change anything from the original idea because that was, we did not improvise on the idea or the storytelling. The improvisation only could be that some dialogue somebody would have slightly changed and all, but
not because of the talent, but because of limitations, like thought that we could film this in better location with better gears or something like that.
No, we always knew that we had a small budget, so kind of we knew about our limitations and planned it around that only. So that was it. But we had many challenges. On the day one of shooting, we said we cannot do this film. Everything was a waste. So that happens with all filmmakers, I think.
Also, I would say the name is great, but I would think it like as Ali the Mind Box.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so good. Very creative thinking. Thank you. I think the last one, last question from the young man over here.
It's a small question.
It's small and a short answer.
No question is too small. No question is small.
No question is small.
What was the hardest part of making this film?
What was the hardest part? The hardest part was, I'll tell you, on day one of shooting, it was so horrible footages we got, and we spent most of our money on that day with the equipment that we hired and all, and it came so bad that we were almost on the verge of saying that we cannot do this film. And we really had to recalibrate ourselves, reinforce ourselves, and go back to the drawing boards and change a lot of things, including some of the technical stuff, to again come back to the floor. So that was the hardest day on the evening of that first day, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you. Talia.
Okay, everybody, we are going for a break now. Initially, we planned for an hour, but we are running out so much.